think this year, along with monsoons, there were also some intellectual rains which came to Goa, because Goa University instituted some chairs, and we had some very important intellectuals of the country who visited Goa and conducted a few lectures. There was Bakibab Borkar chair, and we have Ashok Vajpeyi, who has been in Goa for the last 10 days. He has been conducting a course on comparative literature. I have had the opportunity to attend quite a few of his lectures. I think this is one of the best things which has happened to Goa on the intellectual scene. Mr. Vajpeyi has been in many different positions. I think he is definitely one of the most important intellectuals of the country. He is a poet, an art critic. He has been the Secretary Culture, Government of India. He has been the Vice Chancellor of the Mahatma Gandhi International University in Wardha. He has been the Chairman of Lalit Kala Academy. He was responsible for starting the Bharat Bhavan. He has been decorated with many Sanmans, but I think that he was decorated with these Sanmans is actually a decoration to those Sanmans rather than to him. He has been given the Kabir Puraskar, is a member of the Sahitya Academy Puraskar, and many more Puraskars nationally and internationally. He has given a few talks in Goa, apart from in the university, in the Xavier's College in Mapsa, in Margao. Government of Vidyaniketan organized a talk by him. One of his favorite subject is secularism. These days, we have Asaram Bapu and other saints who have been arrested for wrong reasons. I would like you to comment on this.
Well, I would say that this is not the first time that one of these so-called spiritual leaders or gurus has been arrested. There was one Shankaracharya who still, I think, is in jail for being responsible for a murder of some kind. I think in our times, what is happening is that there is a very false, shallow, but very widespread religiosity. And that religiosity is also creating a very fake spirituality. And because middle classes and ordinary people, they look for something to sustain them in their difficult life struggles and things of that kind, they are attracted to it. Now, I view with great suspicion most of these spiritual leaders. As and when they want, they indulge in politics.
Yes.
Although a spiritual leader should be above politics, but they do interfere, and they usually interfere for the wrong causes. So, their role has to be viewed with great suspicion. What spiritual richness they bring to their audiences is very questionable. They also indulge in their own ritualism and their own, kinds of things that they sell out, and you have a Baba selling out some medicines and some yogic practices, you have somebody selling music and things of that kind. So, it's also a very commercial activity. Now, both the commercial and the political militate against the spiritual. The real spiritual leader we had, the last one I think, was Mahatma Gandhi. Who respected all religions. He created a new version of the secular. And that version was not keeping away from religions. It's all right for the state to keep away from religion, but create a Sarva Dharma Sambhav, that is all religions, including those who do not believe in religion like me, should have equal respect, equal rights, not only before law, but also before God, if there be one.
Recently, we had Dr. Narendra Dabholkar.
Yes.
He was shot.
Yes.
He was basically against all these Babas and all this fake spiritualism and magic. Well, in spite of I mean, murderers are not found. There are fingers pointing towards one of the organizations in Goa, which is the Sanatan organization, because they were also allegedly accused of blasting bombs during the last Diwali celebrations in Goa, but 2 of them died. So basically, even the Goa government, for example, has not taken any note, or no condemnation of this act has been done. So basically, politicians seem to be sacrificing the spiritual at the altars of the vote banks.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, since spirituality, this fake, shallow, dishonest spirituality is willing to sell itself
Yeah.
to politics and commerce, surely politics and commerce will take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's understandable that the governments, you see, we have a situation in which state governments are accomplices.
Yeah.
Sometimes by their active support and sometimes by their indifference.
Yeah.
You do nothing.
Yeah.
Because he is a spiritual leader. And you're, I mean, increasingly in our country, the state becomes a victim of hurt feelings.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
And there's a small group of aggressive, angry people who, while their feelings get hurt, are willing to hurt others physically.
Yes.
Yeah. And force governments to impose bans and such like.
Yeah.
So sometimes one feels that the states are under a siege by these kinds of forces. The more disturbing part is that those who are educated, those who have received the gift of education and should have a much more liberal, open mind, they are the ones who seem to be getting into this, admiring and following these fake spiritual leaders.
Now, you spoke very beautifully about Sarva Dharma Samabhav Prarthana of Mahatma Gandhi. I would like the viewers to know about this Sarva.
Well, you know, Gandhi ji had no mandir in Sevagram.
Yeah.
Instead, he created an invisible mandir. That is the Prarthana Sabha. Now, the Prarthana Sabha used to take place and still takes place at 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the evening. In that Prarthana Sabha, renditions were made from all the major religions of the world. So, Hinduism, you have Upanishad and Gita and Ved, and you had Buddhist scriptures and Jain scriptures and Sikh songs, and you have the Bible, you have Quran, and you have the Jews' scriptures and things of that kind. I don't think anywhere else in the world, even today, such a thing exists. You have prayers which are at best in your own religion, maybe one more religion, but to have prayers every day, twice, and thereby what was he trying to show? He was trying to show, and there was a very interesting reply that he once gave to a question, that if all religions lead to God, why should we have so many religions? To which Gandhi ji said, all religions are true, but they are imperfect. So each religion can learn something from the other. I mean, let's say the concept of equality is a concept which one may learn from Islam. Because you are caught in Hinduism with this varnashram and this hierarchical situation. So there are many things that you can learn from other religions, and we have been doing it. Incidentally, the Sarva Dharma Sambhav is a very interesting, very enriching, very deep condition here. It's not as if it has been invented overnight. You have long traditions, and in religions in India have influenced each other, have dialogued with each other, have collaborated with each other. After all, during the freedom struggle, people from all religions came together. So but what is unfortunate is that once you become a religious person of this kind, you start being intolerant of other religions. In fact, many religions now are getting intolerant of their own centuries long plurality. I mean, Hinduism is not one, and there are 3,300 million gods and such like that. You can't say that this is the God. And you can be a Hindu without believing in God, like I am.
Like Gandhi's ways, he involved spiritualism in the freedom struggle.
Yes.
Today, we have so many forces also involving religion, but in a totally wrong way. Would you make a comment on that?
You see, the point is that Gandhi ji brought the notion of dignity, nobility, mutual support, responsibility. These are the notions that he brought to politics.
Yeah.
Now, these are the notions which have disappeared.
Yeah.
What you bring is intolerance, parochialism, narrowness, etc., etc. So, today, all religions more or less have become violent. All religions are aggressive. All religions are intolerant. And this is the exact obverse of what Gandhi ji himself practiced and professed.
Yeah.
So, we have come far away from it. And in the name of religion, actually we are creating new systems of exploitation. So, there is a debasement of the true religious spirit. The true religious spirit, according to one of the greatest Indian born, according to Mahatma Gandhi, therefore, was that you shall be responsible to others, that you should come to their rescue, their help, that you would allow others to have as much human dignity as you want for yourself, as much freedom as you want for yourself, as much opportunities as you want for yourself. And some of these ideas are enshrined in the Constitution, luckily. But in practice,
It's not happening.
politics has gone in a direction, and unfortunately, the so-called civil society also has followed politics rather than providing a counterpoint to politics.
So you're from the field of art and you have so much of contribution there. Like Hussain Saab was basically was forced to leave the country,
Yes.
died elsewhere.
Yeah.
The same people, the Hindu Janajagriti Samiti, and all attacked him. I share basically a certain kind of brotherhood with Hussain Saab because I have also been the target from this Hindu Janajagriti. I got 200 threats. They wanted to dismantle what you talked about, the intolerance, getting hurt. As a doctor, I have a very nice terminology for it. I call it religious senti-hurtitis. This is a disease which makes you hurt with anybody. Any book is written, any. But in spite of all this situation, there are still some interesting hopes you talked about. What has remained in the country is sacred. There are certain areas. I would like you to.
You see, my own contention is that the way the religions have commercialized and politicized themselves, the way they have become intolerant, and the way they have deserted their own plurality, spirituality seem to have abandoned religions. So there is now, perhaps for the first time in history, a dichotomy between spirituality and religions. Because spirituality has to have other residence now.
Yeah.
And I think in our time, this residence is literature and the arts, where everybody is still provided an equal opportunity, an equality of status. You may be a lowly placed person, you may be a king or a royal person, but literature, poetry and arts treat you equally. Now, that spirit, therefore, of feeling responsible for others, feeling concerned about others, caring for the human inviolability of privacy, caring for people who will like to be lonely and left alone to do their creative work. These are spiritual concerns.